the right time to introduce sex education to your kids, especially the girl child? Is it at 2? Is it at 15? Hi love, welcome back again to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much. Hi, it's nice to meet you. My name is Ebere. In here we talk everything motherhood. I like to create content for moms on a budget, and I also like to create DIY videos. If this resonates with you, please go ahead and support me by liking this video and also subscribing to my channel. Thank you. So today I'm going to be talking about raising the girl child and the boy child. Okay, so sit back and go on this ride with me. First, let me point out that I'm not an expert. I'm not a counselor. I'm just a mom who's sharing her journey with other moms, with the hope that other moms or intending moms or soon-to-be moms can also learn or just basically know that they're not alone. So if you're a mom watching me, you are not alone. We are in this together. Raising kids can be overwhelming. It comes with its own ups and downs. Of course, it's rewarding, but it can be daunting at times. You just feel you need some space, you need some air, and sometimes when they are there you wish they are not there. Like, you just wish to have 1 minute all by yourself, and when they are not there you can't wait to just be with them. It's always like that for me, and I'm sure it's also like that for some other moms out there. Now comes the big question: when is the right time to introduce sex education to your kids, especially the girl child? I've come across people who say or who said they do not want girl children because having girl children is a whole lot, having to protect them from rape or abuse. But of course, even the boys also fall victims to this, but emphasis on the girl child. Now, of course, I'm going to touch on it later, but I just want to throw more light on this because they are usually the ones that are on the spotlight. Everything starts from when these kids are young, you know. I don't really know why sex education is almost like a taboo. So when is the right time to introduce sex education to your kids? Is it at 10? Is it at 5? Is it at 2? Is it at 15? Okay, so for me, introducing sex education to your kids should start when they start making sounds that are understandable. From when they start saying dada and mama, it's not like you just sit them down at a particular time to say when a boy and a girl have sexual intercourse. I'm trying to say it's the time you make them know their body parts. There's a whole lot of work for us to do as parents, not just even moms, but as parents. So if you're a man watching me, you have work to do as well, because if you don't, another person is going to do that on your behalf. A quick backstory before I continue. My girl is currently 6 and she's in basic 1, but when she was in nursery 2, she came back home one day and told me, because we usually have something we call girls time, just the both of us before her sister came now, but then the girls time is when we get to tell stories. It's the time I just want her to get to tell me things that I may have forgotten to ask or she may have forgotten to tell me, and it's also a bonding time for both of us. She told me about a boy who usually comes to her class. This happened 2 years ago when she was still in nursery 2 and she was 4 years old, and when the boy comes, the boy takes her to his own class and then starts to bring down her panties. She told me to come to her school and report. At first, I asked her if she knows the boy's class. She said no. I said, when you go back, ask the boy of his name and also ask him of his class. So the next time when we had our girl's time again, she called the boy's name and also called his class. And I told her I was going to come the next day, of which I did. When I got there, I reported the matter, and of course they acted on it very fast. So when she came back home, she told me that the boy was severely punished in school. I made her understand that, okay, I was happy that the boy was punished as he should have, okay? But then when I thought about it, I was like, this boy that is being punished, I think he was in basic 2 as at then. this boy should be around 7 years. What does he really know? He might also be a victim of abuse as well, maybe from the house or even what he must have seen on the screen. I thought of it that wasn't even the best approach. I think, okay, he was caught, then I'm sure next time he would be very smart enough not to let anyone catch him again. Although I didn't go back to the school to say, okay, what you put did is not what you should have done, but I just let it matter. My point is, if I had not had that time, or if I had not had that connection with my girl child, I'm not sure she would have been bold enough to tell me that thing. So I'm going to let you in on some of the things I did or I always do to ensure that they always open up to me, or for you to know what exactly is going on in your baby's life. One is, like I said, the sex education part. I introduced her body parts to her. Now she knows this is her breast and this is her VJ, which is the vagina. Basically made her understand that, okay, this is nipple. There's nothing to be shy about, or there's nothing to be afraid of. It's now normal for us to say, okay, my VJ is paining me, or it's hers. She should own it like it's hers. Now the second thing I did was to teach her consent. Even when I'm beating her, no one is even supposed to even touch it that is not mom, no one, or maybe dad, but when he's beating them, well, no one else is allowed to touch, whether a boy or a girl, no one is allowed to touch. So whenever someone wants to touch her, she should either kick the person, punch the person, and then come and tell mom. So I had to turn it to like a rhyme. So we usually rhyme to it. And I started teaching her this from her or a year and some months, like when she could understand body parts, even if she couldn't pronounce them, but at least she this is my BB or breast, or just trying to make sure she understands that. Then I started wondering, if I had not established this kind of relationship or connection with her, I'm not sure she would have been bold enough to come to me to tell me that. One is your child telling you about that, and two is you acting very fast on that. So when you act very fast on that, the next time she's aware that I have someone, my mom is always going to come and back me. I'm saying this because when I was younger, I was almost abused. I was by one of my uncles, and when I told my mom, she just dismissed me. Like the way she yelled at me at that time, I was in secondary school then. I was a teenager. I think I was about 14 or so. It was like a taboo. Why am I talking about it? Why should I even come? I'm just saying, why should I even come telling her that kind of thing? I don't know what went on through her mind. Maybe she thought I was lying, or maybe she thought I was joking, or maybe she thought I wasn't even supposed to voice that out. That made me kind of crawl into my shell. Like even when I had my first period, I didn't even tell her. Like I don't blame her, because I think in her own turn too, that was how it was. Like you're not supposed to mention some things, almost all parents, especially in this part of the world, you're almost made guilty for even saying that, for even speaking up. I'm not going to have that kind of relationship with my daughter. No, I'm going to act on it as fast as I can. So now the way you discuss these things depends on what you can assimilate. So I'm saying this because you cannot see like a 3-year-old child and you're telling the person when the sperm mixes with the egg, So what I'm trying to say is you have to know your child's level, and before you know what to discuss. So as your child grows, you keep on expanding. Now that she's currently 6, she has got to the stage where she now asks, where is God from? Why is God seeing us and we're not seeing God? Not just her. I feel like these digital age kids are very inquisitive and they learn very fast. So what I'm trying to say is, so now she has gotten to the stage where she asked me, where do babies come from? We have a baby. So she said, so our baby came from Tommy. I said yes. And first of all, the way I teach is, when you ask me, I'll throw it back at you. What do you think? So that way I want to know if you're ready to even learn. If you've watched this point, please support me by giving this video a thumbs up and also subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Last time she asked, I told her babies either come from tummy or through the VJ. And then I went ahead to explain just a little bit, and then I left her so that way she doesn't feel overwhelmed. So next time I'm also going to go deeper. So my point now is, it's okay for you to talk about these things, and not just for the girls alone, even for the boys. It's okay for you to tell them about their body parts. It's okay for you to let them in on their body, let them own it, let them understand consent. Don't say you have a boy, it's not going to affect him, it's just for the girls. Now they're also at the receiving end, so if they're not the ones doing it, they're also at the receiving end. So it's very paramount that you should teach them about around it, so you even know what their perception about it is. And then if you're talking to your child and your child is shy, then there's a problem. It's either you didn't start on time to talk about it, or it's either he or she is learning from somewhere and she thinks, or he or she thinks, you're not supposed to be talking about it with him, or for you to start talking about these things. It's okay for you to start being a Gen Z mom, or to start being a digital mom, an e-mom, or else, because they learn very fast, or else they are going to learn, and it will get to a point where you can't even have this conversation with them. Like, the internet now can even teach more than you can teach. So if you're thinking of how to bring up this topic, you can check on Google. There are ways to know how to start. You can just try, so that way they are very free with you. They are very free. We are Africans, and sometimes we tend to ignore some of those things and then try to leave, just try to float. But you know what, you cannot just, it's not possible for you to abandon it. Like, you cannot just ignore it totally. What am I trying to say? Growing up, we didn't see some of our parents kiss or show their affection or their love to one another, but boom, they have 6 children, they have 7 children, they have 8 children. You're wondering so now that I'm all grown, I'm wondering, how did you do it? Now that I'm grown, I do not want the same case for me and my family. I let my children in on my love life with my husband. Okay, no, I want them to see when we hug. I want them to see when we show affection to one another, so they know that love lives here. Another point is teaching your child self-defense, emphasis on girl child. So unfortunate that in this part of the world we rarely talk about self-defense, but yet every day people are getting abused, people are getting raped. For instance, where I stay, I don't even know if there are taekwondo classes. I've tried to research to check if there's, but if there is, or if I find out, I'm definitely going to enroll my kids to taekwondo classes, because it's important that even if you feel you're not going to use it, so it's better that your kids learn this and eventually there will be no need for it than they don't learn it and at the end of the day there is need for it. So it's important that they understand that they are supposed to defend themselves to an extent. Like, not just the girls, like I said, even the boys too need to learn self-defense, because danger doesn't know boy, it doesn't know girl. Okay, so I hope they've been able to grab one thing today. Thank you so much for being my guest.